Great to have your company this morning. Tatjana Clancy with you until midday. Well, it is time now, as always, at this time of the day, to check in with Neil Hermes. He is our resident ornithologist, aka bird guru. Neil, welcome.
Good morning, Tatjana. How are you going?
Good. It looks like it's fining up out there. It was looking a little gloomy and now the weather's looking a little better out there, isn't it?
It is looking a little bit better, but you know what? It's been so up and down the last week or two. You know, absolute intense summer one day, cold winter the next. But look, today's looking like a lovely day and the weekend's looking good. So, but every day is a good day to get out bird watching. That's what I always say.
Absolutely. That is the mantra, Neil. That's right.
That is.
Now, I love this first story, that birdsong is not just a competition for mates or territory. It is about bonding, Neil. Tell me more about this one.
Bonding. Tatjana, you're all into the bonding stories.
I am. I love the kumbaya. I love the, yeah.
I know. And look, it is, look, there's some researchers have done some research with some Australian zebra finches. These are beautiful little...
I haven't heard of these.
They're gorgeous.
Are they black and white? Or
No. Well, they are partly, but the males have got this huge orange spot on the side of their face, which is in fact the dominant colour. And then they do have black and white markings along the side. But zebra finch, an Australian, very common Australian finch, found in the inland, often kept in aviaries, very commonly kept in aviaries as a pet bird. But beautiful little finch. At this time, with the wet weather we're having out in the inland, just breeding in the millions at the moment, huge numbers of them. But look, some people have done some research on these birds to work out about the calls, and it does turn out that it's not just about males saying to another male, keep out of my territory. The females don't call at all, and the males call as a way of just keeping the relationship going in the pair. So it's about maintaining the bonding between a couple. And even within a group of zebra finches, you might have 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, 10, 100 species, pairs nesting in a tree together. It keeps the group together as well. So they're chatting to one another saying, you know, it's almost like team sport. All the males are saying, look, we're all on the same team, we're looking after one another, but also, you know, checking in and just keeping a constant reassurance of the bond with their mate as well. So, a lot more to this bird call stuff than we perhaps thought in the past, and some of this research has been done in Australia on some of our beautiful native birds.
Now, Neil, I know you're pretty impressive with your birding skills, but not only can you identify them, can you like differentiate between the different bird calls in that way?
Oh yes, sure. So zebra finches have I can't imitate the zebra finch call.
It's you know I love it when you do.
I know, I can't. I would if I could. But no, zebra finches have a very distinctive call. In fact, all of our finches do, and you'll often hear them at a distance before you see them. And in fact, you know, when I do my little bird walks, which I do, you know, every month, one of the things I help people understand is that, in fact, most of the time you're not looking for birds. Most of the time you're listening for them. Yeah. And it's when you hear them at a distance, you might then say, oh, that's this, that's that. And if you don't know a particular bird, you'll then hone in on it and try and see it. But it's the listening skills are one of the most important, even in just an open, ordinary bit of countryside or around your garden like Canberra, but especially in places like rainforests and thick forests. It's the calls that will tell you what's about, not seeing the birds necessarily.
Because you know that bird app you've been telling us about where it can determine what the bird eats?
BirdNet, yes.
Yeah, it'd be cool if it was like telling you what the calls meant. So these guys are doing karaoke, these guys are mating, these guys are bonding.
I think that'll come. I think that once we get all the calls in the world all taped up, and we've got all the records, I think it will be able to say, and you're listening to a bird, you know, that's a mating call or an alarm call or whatever. I think
it's singing Marvin Gaye to woo its girlfriend. Yeah, that sort of thing.
Perhaps not that explicit, but I think that we're on the track to actually being able to identify. And we already know, you know, half a dozen different sorts of calls mean different things in some species. So on that app, you know, they will be able to identify the call not just to the species, but they'll tell you whether it's a male or a female, and they'll probably be able to tell you what the intent of the call is as well. That's not far away. So all exciting times. And for those that haven't heard me talk about it, Tatjana, BirdNet, BirdNet, one word, a free app. Download it, have a play with it. It's fantastic. Identify a few birds in the garden. It's an amazing new device that will help you identify birds that you think you'd never identify at any other time.
Fantastic. Now, the yellow-tailed black cockatoos, this is a good story, spotted in large numbers at the moment.
Yep, yellow-tailed blacks are are a fabulous forest bird. We get them right through the southeast of Australia. They were very badly influenced by the big bushfires we had in 2003, and nest in the mountains a lot, and then retreated to the lower areas, and in fact came into Canberra in large numbers. So yellow-tailed blacks are a spectacular big local cockatoo, and frequently found in roosting in the pines around Canberra, places like Isaac's Pines, the pines out at the back of Mount Ainslie, places like that, very frequently seen now.
Fantastic. And now I'm pretty sure this is quite obvious, but bird counts being, of course, crucial for conservation.
Yeah, so this is a little story about getting bird counts done, and I think the story that you're referring to refers to some counts that are being done in some parts of Africa where they've never done them before. But we've been doing bird counts. The local bird club has been Canberra Birds has been doing bird counts in Canberra for the last 50 years or thereabouts, and it's amazing. I mean, when I was a child in Canberra and a young birder growing up, there were some birds that we just didn't get in Canberra. Birds that people today think is a common local bird, like the crested pigeon. Some people call them a top-knot pigeon. They were not in Canberra at all when I was, back in the 60s. In the 50s, galahs were an uncommon bird in the ACT. So by doing counts, we can keep a record over the years of what's common, what's not common, what's changing. And then from that, you try and get an understanding of what the influences are in the landscape. Is it human interference? Is it fire? Whatever. And then to get a bit of a sense of what we need to do. So it's only from... You can't really make a good judgment about what management you may need for different species of birds without some reasonably good knowledge, and bird counts are a big part of that. And many amateur bird watchers, people who just have a small interest, can actually get actively involved in those things. It becomes a citizen science project that they can be involved with, and there's plenty of them. In fact, people would check out Canberra Birds, the local bird club, and see some things that they might want to participate in as well.
Fantastic. Neil, always a pleasure. Are you going to get up to some birding, of course, this weekend?
I'll be out birding this weekend, and of course I remind people that I do my regular monthly bird walks. Check out the dates on my website, and I've got some good programs going out into various parts of New South Wales and parts of the country. Just released the dates for my Norfolk Island trip this year. That'll be in November. So people can check out all those dates on my website, and hopefully we'll see people out birdwatching.
Wonderful. Neil, always a pleasure. Catch you next week.
Thank you, Tatjana. Ciao.
Thank you so much. That's Neil Hermes.